it's Kelly with IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and today is Sunday, November the 25th, and I'm exhausted, so we're just going to sit here and chat. Thank you for letting me bring you WW Weight Watchers Wellness Workshop number 99. It's actually called Get Back on Track, and I think I named it Holiday Restart or something like that because I'm exhausted. But thank you for letting me bring this to you as a pre-recorded video. This is not a live chat, so it is Sunday, November the 25th, and we are not live. You are watching this pre-recorded. In case you haven't been around this week, we have spent the last 7 days at the hospital with my mom, and the last 4 of those have been in the ICU. So I am happy to report that she did well on her spontaneous breathing test today. So she did come off of the ventilator. Now she's very agitated because she has to do a whole bunch of breathing things like exercises to keep her from getting the pneumonia again. The pneumonia is not quite gone. But anyway, we're just glad she's here. So I'm not going to complain too much about that, but this is pre-recorded, so I will not be doing the hi hellos live, which I know some of you all will not mind that, but hopefully the majority of you all will go, oh, and still say hi hello. I'm going to try and watch this for the first 30 minutes with you all, you know, when I go ahead and post it at 8 o'clock tonight. So I'll try to be here with you for about 30 minutes so that I can go ahead and answer any questions. And there's Dusty. And so that I can say hi, hello, you know, if you're here. But if it's your very first time, so sorry that I have confused you by not doing this live. But yeah, with my mom in the hospital, there was absolutely no way. And I also just dropped John off at the airport for 3 weeks. So yeah, this week was just not going to allow it. Plus, it was Thanksgiving week. Plus. So just too much going on, but I did want to make sure that all of us, including me, got right back on track after Thanksgiving, so I didn't want to skip a week. Plus, that means that next Sunday, fingers crossed if everybody stays healthy and cooperates with me, that means next Sunday would be chat number, and I'm hoping when Casey fixes this video tomorrow, I'm hoping that she'll insert something really special right here, but that means that next week, since I'm doing this week, next week will be chat number, drum roll please, 100. And Casey, I totally expect to see some kind of fireworks and sparkles and something, you know, when you get to this portion of the video, when you're editing it tomorrow for YouTube. So again, for those of you just joining us, this is not live tonight. Today is Sunday, November the 25th. We are recording this on demand because my mother's been in the hospital for a week. So I'm not going to revisit all that. This is not live, so I'm not trying to answer a bunch of questions while I'm talking about that. So the good news is this will be under an hour. It's for sure going to be under an hour because I'm not going to sit here and just talk to myself for over an hour. Ha! Yeah, number 2, I did not prepare any food. There was no way, zero chance with everything going on. I've been going back over to the hospital at 6:30 every morning, staying until my brother can get there at 10. Then I leave for a couple of hours, and then I go back in the afternoon and then stay until they have a shift change that night. So yeah, I'm spending way more time at the hospital than I'm spending at home. So there's no food. So there's no fluff to this one. Sorry. You'll have to wait until next week when it's chat number, drum roll, 100. Yeah, and then I'll have something really, really special. And I just excited Dusty because pounding on the island, I think he thought somebody was at the door. Oh well. Okay, so poor Dusty. But anyway, so if you want to watch this later, since it is just recorded, if you want to watch this later, you can watch it on youtube.com. Just search If You Have an Egg, or you can watch it here on Facebook later, or we'll post it on the blog. That's www.IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. So there's nobody live here to talk to. Please do still say hi and hello. If you're on Facebook, I'll see them immediately because again, I'm going to watch for about 30 minutes to chat with you. And if you're on YouTube or on Facebook later, or if you're on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, I see those comments, you know. So please do comment, and I promise I will answer them. This will be really short. Yeah, and for those of you who don't like the hi hellos, congratulations, you won't have them tonight. And for those of you who love them, still say them, and I promise I will answer you. So again, real quick, hospital all week, so sorry, but Thanksgiving was the day before that. So I have a couple of questions before we get straight into the chat. The first one was, did anybody do any great Black Friday shopping? So Casey and I got a couple of things in before my brother called to say that mom was being moved to ICU. And then we kind of had to wrap it up. The couple of cool things that we got, Casey picked out this new sweater for me, and I think she did a great job. I love it. And she picked out a gold and yellow colored sweater for me. We got them super cheap at Old Navy. But I'm wondering what other great deals you came up with. We were actually headed to Target and then over to Kohl's to look at the Instant Pots because they were on sale for like $69 in our area. Plus at Target you got $10 in like a Target gift card, $10 Target gift card back, which made it like $59. Or if you got it at Kohl's, it was $69.99 or something like that, and you got $15 in Kohl's cash. So we were headed to one of the two of those to go look at Instant Pots, but Nana had other plans, so sorry, I didn't end up with an Instant Pot. But I am going to Cyber Monday shop a little bit tomorrow. Again, fingers crossed. Even if I end up spending the entire day at the hospital, they have internet, so surely I can get some Cyber Monday shopping in. But if you all have any great deals, or if you know of any great deals coming up, and it does not have to be an Instant Pot, I was just going to get that because of, you know, A, because you all ask me all the time, and B, because that seemed like a super, super good deal, especially to get either the Target gift card or the Kohl's cash back, you know, for that, or the Kohl's cash for that. But I think for Cyber Monday, I'm going to spend most of my time on Amazon. There are a few things that I use that y'all ask me about all the time that I'm going to check and see if they have some good Cyber Monday deals going on. One of them is the silicone baking cups like we used 2 weeks ago, or no, I guess that was last week in the Mindful Eating chat, or Eat Mindfully chat. So the silicone baking cups that I use, and they are right here. I can show you those quickly. So I have all kinds of them, but the silicone baking cups that I use, I'm gonna find the link for that, and I'll post it if there's gonna be a Cyber Monday deal on Amazon for that. The Simple Living air fryer, like this one over here, this one. And I'm sorry, I'm facing the wrong direction, so I can't tell where I'm pointing. That one right there. The Simple Living air fryer, I believe, is on sale this weekend. So I'll post a link to that in this chat, or I'll also post it in the on www.IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. And I will post a link to, let me think, there was something else. Oh, the measuring spoons. So again, the ones that I used last week, these are from Weight Watchers, but I noticed that they have them on Amazon. Or there were two other really cool sets that I want to show you that are on Amazon. And anyway, there's just a couple of little things that I want to put there, but I will look those up and I'll get those affiliate links posted for you so that hopefully there are some good Cyber Monday deals going and we can all, you know, come out like champs. So speaking of that, the Tuesday for me, but the week before Thanksgiving, who of you attended your physical workshop? So who sat their bottom in a little chair and actually attended a workshop the week of Thanksgiving? So for some of you all, your workshop would have been, I'm sure if it was on Thanksgiving, it was canceled, but for some of you all, your workshop would have been on the Friday or Saturday after, or the Sunday after Thanksgiving. So who did that? So since we can't do the thumbs ups and the hearts like we do on the Facebook Lives, you know, where you all just sit and punch it and they go up, since we can't do that, you're going to have to give me a physical, you know, like an old school thumbs up or an old school heart so that I'll know that you're there. But who sat your little bottom in a chair? I did. The Tuesday before Thanksgiving, so 2 days before Thanksgiving, Karen and I both sat our bottoms in a little chair at a workshop and attended the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. So I think you all get double Bravo stickers for that. So double Bravo to anyone who attended, you know, a live meeting, a live workshop last week. So I think that was awesome. Plus, who attended with us here last Sunday night at our workshop that's here live on Sunday nights? Who attended one of those or both? And remember, you're going to have to give me an old school thumbs up or an old school heart because we can't do it. You know, we're not doing this live, so I can't get them that way. But yeah, bravo to you too. So those brave souls who went the week before Thanksgiving, what we talked about was eating mindfully. So this was the weekly, and I don't know if y'all have noticed, but they have started kind of making them slick, kind of slicking them up. and I guess maybe that's to help make them a little bit more sturdy. And the dates are on there now, so that would be the one for November the 11th through the 17th. And our fearless leader Gwen tells us that the reason, she thinks the reason that the dates weren't on there in the beginning was because they weren't really sure that very first week, they weren't sure when it was going to be rolled out. And that makes complete sense. So those of you who think I got this added because of our chats, that is so sweet of you, and thank you very much for your vote of confidence, but 'twas not me. 'Twas not me that got that, put on there. The recipe was super pretty from last week. I forgot to show that. But if you'll remember, in Eat Mindfully, we were talking about some things that you could do, again, just to be more mindful of your eating. I saw several of you did your homework. So several of you all sat at a table, or you sat away from your desk at work, or you did not sit at the couch. You sat somewhere that was more like a real human, eating. Remember, we talked about don't be a gazelle or a zebra down at the watering hole, trying to shovel something in your mouth really fast, before the crocodile gets you. So several of y'all did your homework. Bravo to you. I saw lots of posts of people sitting with plates, with real food, with silverware, and maybe even a cup, a real glass or something. But it was actual food, sitting down and doing it. My first meal that I had after our chat, made some soup from Trader Joe's, made some ciabatta croutons, handmade those in the air fryer, and put everything on a plate, made it look really pretty. And I sat down on the floor with Alyssa. I was trying to feed her lunch, while I was eating mine. And I think and we do this every Monday, but I think because I had mine on a plate, because it was different, she was all over it. And I'm hoping that when Casey edits this, that she'll go ahead and put in that face that Alyssa made at me, which is now currently my very favorite face that she makes. But she was just really put out and disgusted that I was not sharing my, my actual plate with her. But anyway, so another thing that we talked about was, checking out the size of your plate. Remember, I did not keep them out, but remember, I showed you the size of a 9-inch dinner plate and then an 11-inch dinner plate. And a lot of you all said that the 11-inch dinner plate actually looked like a platter, like it should have been a platter instead of a plate. A lot of y'all are eating off of those. I used to eat off of that. And then I would fill up every square inch of it. And then we talked about using some of our tools, like the measuring spoons that I have, or the ones that I'll put the link for here for from Amazon. We talked about using your hands to to estimate some things, to be able to kind of guesstimate how big things are. Maybe go ahead and make a plate so you know. And then on the plate that I did last week, I had 7 of these little silicone baking cups, and I went ahead and pre-planned what I thought was going to be on my plate, and just so I could get some kind of an idea of how many points it was going to be. Well, again, Thanksgiving Day is the day that Nana ended up in ICU. So she didn't go on Thanksgiving Day, but she was not doing well Thanksgiving Day. And so we ended up back over at the hospital, and I did not even get to make all of the food that I was going to make to take over to Casey's. So I had to try and remember as best as I could, which, I had practiced, which was, really good, but I ended up with a couple of things on my plate that were not 0 points as I had planned because I didn't get to finish making my food because I got called to come right back over to the hospital as soon as I got home. But anyway, it still didn't come out too bad on Thursday. My guesstimation for my Thursday meal, now I had eaten like a 3-point breakfast on Thursday, and I was going to have a snack, but was at the hospital, and so didn't get to have the snack on Thursday. Well, I take it back. I did. I had an apple in my purse, and I took a string cheese with me, so I had a 1-point snack. I had 1 light mozzarella string cheese and an apple from my purse. So I had a 1-point snack before we spent the afternoon there. Then when I got to Casey's to have actual Thanksgiving, because I had practiced with my little silicone cups. Now, I did not take these, and I didn't put 7 cups on my plate. But I knew approximately what this was going to look like on my plate so that I could put those things, the things that I wanted, like broccoli casserole. Let's see, I had broccoli casserole, turkey. I had dressing or stuffing, dressing, whichever one y'all call it. I had loaded mashed potatoes that I had made. I had, trying to think what all was on my plate. I had, like a sweet potato casserole. But anyway, I had my 7 things that, and then I had later, after we went back to see Nana and then went back to Casey's house again, then I had a half of a small piece of pecan pie, and I tasted it first to make sure that it was good, because I was not going to waste that many points on pecan pie if it wasn't, you know, like excelente pecan pie. And it was fabulous, and I loved it because we actually got it at Cracker Barrel. So I like pecan pie, but I don't love pecan pie. And I think I figured out why. So most pecan pie is like really, really thick, and it's that really thick layer of just the sugary stuff that's okay, but I don't love that. The one from Cracker Barrel was thin. It was only like this thick, so it had like the crust, and then it had that little thin layer of the sugary stuff, and then most of it was pecans. That was a whole lot better. But anyway, so between my 7 silicone cups worth that were just on my plate and my half of a small piece of pecan pie, I counted 32 points for my Thanksgiving Day meal, like for my main meal. So remember, I think it was 3 points for breakfast. I had a 1 point snack while I was at the hospital. Then I think I counted 32 smart points for, because I had a like turkey breast and things like that too. But I had 32 smart points for my Thanksgiving meal. I was more than satisfied. I wasn't stuffed, so I didn't feel, you know, like I didn't have to break out the buffet pants, you know, because I'd had too much to eat. But I was satisfied. I felt like I had some of everything that I wanted. Oh, deviled eggs, I had 2 of those. But I felt like I had some of everything that I wanted to have, and I had, you know, one of these or a half of one of these of everything that I only get on Thanksgiving when my sister's here. So I made sure and had all that, and I felt very satisfied. But so for the whole day, it was like a 36-point day, which obviously is over my dailies. But guess what? Sometimes you got to dip into your weeklies. And for me to feel satisfied on Thanksgiving, especially having my mother in the hospital, and not knowing that I was a day away from ICU, you know, that was awesome. So I'm going to consider that a win. So I'm just curious, how many of you, so I would love to know, please comment, you know, since this isn't live, please comment and let me know how many of you tracked at all. So how many of you, you know, kept all your points, portioned everything out, you know, exactly how many points you used. How many of you just put a number on it and wrote it down, like you said, I don't know, 50 points. I used 50 points, and you just guessed at it, but you put a number down, and you know, and you stuck with it. And then how many of you just said, it's Thanksgiving, you know, forget it. I'm not even going to track. I'm not even going to, you know, think about it. So I seriously do want to know in the comments, you know, how many of you all did one of those 3 things. So hopefully though, you remembered that Thanksgiving is a day. It's Thanksgiving Day. And if you are like me and you celebrate Christmas, it's Christmas Day. And I'm sorry for you Hanukkah people, because somehow you got to fit in, is it 7 days? And I ask y'all this every single year, but I think you have to fit in seven days of food. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, because we only have to fit in 1 day. But remember, so it's Thanksgiving Day. And now that we're recording this on November the 25th, don't know if you've realized this or not either, but it is also exactly 30 days from today until Christmas. So you have 30 days left until Christmas. Okay, Thanksgiving Day. So I went overboard, a planned overboard. So I had 36 points that day. The next day, which was Black Friday shopping, got right back on track. What I had planned for the day, even though Nana ended up in ICU that day, Casey still really, really helped me stay on track that day. And that's what we're getting ready to talk about is, this week we talked about getting back on track, or I called it holiday restart. And I don't mean that you have to like go all the way back restart between now and Christmas, because I know a lot of you have got parties coming up. We've got extra things at work. People are going to be bringing us presents. I mean, we've got lots and lots and lots of opportunities, and the hospital is not a good place to eat. If you're trying to do any kind of a weight loss plan, or even if you're trying to maintain. So I'll tell you what I did, you know, what I've done so far at the hospital to try and stay, you know, in control. But I do think though that you need to stop and say, Okay, Thanksgiving is done. Thanksgiving is done. And even if you let it carry over into Black Friday, it's done. That is all done. So we really need to get back on track, between now and Christmas, or, whatever holiday you celebrate. And so from our weekly, I just wanted to read a little bit of it to you. Fact, overeating happens. It's a fact. It is a fact. Even naturally thin people occasionally overeat. Now their version of overeating might be a little different than our version, but it is a fact. Overeating happens. None of us are here because we never overate. It's normal. It is normal. So the next fact, also a fact. It's okay. It is okay. One instance of overeating doesn't undo the healthy habits you've created. Okay? Seriously, listen to me. Thoughts like, I messed up or I'll start over tomorrow can derail you or even make you feel that you should eat less to make up for it. Okay, eating way less than your normal points the next day does not make up for it. It does not. If anything, it kind of sends you in the opposite direction. So they say, look ahead, not back. Creating a plan and practicing it often can help you stay on track and in the driver's seat. Keep this in mind. Eating more than you planned or wanted is in the past. It's done. It's over. Leave it behind. Set it down and leave it behind. It's what you do next that matters around the holidays or any day. So they say what to do, reflect and regroup. After you've overeaten, assess what you did. So write it down. Those of you that tracked, I tracked. I overate that day, but I knew it and I knew I was going to. So I assessed it. What led you to eat more than you planned? I planned it. So nothing led me to eat more than I planned. But you can use this, for any time. And then what can you do differently next time? Well, next time I can stop eating on Thanksgiving and not let it carry over. Then the next thing, pick your next meal. You might feel full, but planning for your very next dish to be low in Smart Points values can help you to get right back on track. It really, really, really can. It is too easy to say, well, I overate on Thanksgiving Day, so let's see. I guess I might as well just wait and restart on Friday. Well, no, Friday's the beginning of the weekend, and it's Black Friday shopping, so no, I'll just restart again on Monday. Oh, my meeting's on Tuesday. Okay, maybe I'll start again on Wednesday. Okay, if I had done that, that would be 6 days of free-for-all before I started again. Do you know what kind of damage you could do in 6 days? So instead, I already had a plan for getting right back on Friday, and Casey was part of my plan, and I'm going to tell you in a second what she did to help me. And then the last thing is look at the big picture. What helpful changes have you made over time? What about your wellness journey are you proud of? And then you need to set up your comeback. The next time you overeat, follow the 3 steps above to guide you back on course right away. Use the space below to write them down. So if you got a weekly, you have space to write down, what your plan is. But because I have overeaten for Thanksgiving in the past, and because I have overeaten, at other events in the past, then we had made a plan. Remember, I had done my 7 cups. So I knew what everything was going to kind of look like on my plate. I had already, pre-planned some of it. Doing this, so knowing this ahead of time, is what saved my rear end when I got the call to go back to the hospital on Thursday. If I had not already pre-planned this, then by the time I got to Casey's, A, I was stressed out. B, I wasn't sure what was going on. C, they were trying to tell me things that just were not true about my mother, and at the hospital, but they don't know her. I do. Everybody was there. Everybody was at Casey's house. Her in-laws, her husband's side of the family, they were all there. There were still a bunch of people there. I came into part of their mess. I came in, not mess, but the things left over from them eating. Then the food that I was supposed to help plan, but didn't get to because I was at the hospital. Then we went straight into that. And it would have been super, super easy had I not pre-planned. It would have been really easy to walk in and go, I'm upset, I'm stressed out, there's a whole bunch of food here, it's Thanksgiving, just leave me alone, I'm going to eat whatever I want to, get sick, and then sit on the couch, just veg out on the couch, and just don't worry about it, just move on. But instead, because I had pre-planned this, and because Casey knew that I was pre-planning this, had pre-planned this and, think about this, then she super duper helped me out on Thursday and on Friday. On Thursday, when I got there, when I finally got back from the hospital, she had everything else was already warmed up. My sister was bringing in the rest of the food, but Casey handed me Alyssa or her father-in-law actually handed me Alyssa and said, hey, we've been trying to get her to go to sleep for an hour and a half. You try. So instead of saying, Mother, I need you to come in here and help me with Thanksgiving dinner, I have more people coming. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think she'd already had like 13 or 14 people at her house already at this point. But instead of saying, oh, Mother, I need some help, come in here and help me, she let me take the baby. I went back to the nursery, sang, patted her, rocked her around, whatever, and I did get her to go to sleep. And then I sat down on her couch and did nothing. I did nothing except snuggle a baby for the next 30 minutes, which was awesome because my hands were busy. So I couldn't put things in my mouth because trust me, there was plenty still available to put in my mouth, but my hands were busy. My mind was busy. I was calming down, I could breathe and I could relax a little bit. Even though Mom was still at the hospital, with an unknown, whatever was going to go on. But I still, Alyssa was breathing slowly. Actually it was kind of hard not to fall asleep, but it was really nice that she didn't ask me to do that. She let me stay within my plan. Then I still held Alyssa and let everybody else go through the line. So everybody else went. They had all been digging in it, getting their favorite things, all the good little crispy, crusty, pieces around the outside were already gone by the time I got up there. So I was able to still get 7 little cupfuls of very, very delicious food, some of which I only get once a year when my sister comes, but 7 delicious cupfuls of food, still stay on track, with my 36 points, and I think I'm out of the day successful. I was not so overstuffed that I couldn't go back to the hospital and take my sister to go see my mom before they went back to Georgia. Then after that, we went back to Casey's, and John and I stayed out in the camper so that we could spend the night with them and go for Black Friday shopping. Okay, so that day was planned. Thursday was planned. Friday, and even though my plan went poo when, we had to go back to the hospital, I was kind of able to just grab it and not go berserk and not go crazy. I could still, kind of pick it back up because we already had a pre-plan. Then Friday, the plan was to get up. Remember, I was already at Casey's, get ready. We were going to go Black Friday shopping. We were going to stop at First Watch. And we already had a general idea of what we were getting for breakfast. And it was about a 20-point breakfast. Okay, so I know some of you all just passed out because I used 20 points at breakfast. But the plan was that breakfast, that 20-point breakfast, was supposed to hold me all day long. So through breakfast, through lunch, through most of the day, that breakfast was supposed to last, it was going to last all day long and up until the late afternoon until it was my turn to go back over to the hospital. So it had to last a long time. So the fact that it was 20 points at the beginning of the day instead of 20 points at the end of the day really was no big deal. I had already planned for it. Bah, bah. Then my brother calls again. Hey, they want to move Mom to the ICU, and they want to intubate her. So they want to put a tube down her throat and let a machine do the breathing for her. Anyway, let's just say standing in the middle of Marshall's, not really prepared for this information or for, some decisions that I had to make in the middle of a store. But we did. Got it headed in the right direction, and then Casey and I left and headed over to the hospital. So when we got there, they had already taken her down to ICU, and they were getting her ready, but we couldn't see her. There was no doctor to talk to yet. Waiting. So I had eaten the breakfast, but my brain is going, okay, I either don't want to eat again for the rest of the day because I'm upset and I'm whatever, or I want a bag of potato chips and cookie dough because that's like my go-to. Luckily, they do not serve raw cookie dough at the hospital, or that could have been a problem, but they do have potato chips. So I had just decided I'm not going to eat anything. Not going to have anything. So the doctor comes in and talks to us, and Mom had to have a bronchoscopy, which I didn't know what that was. I continue to learn new things every time my parents go in. But he came and talked to us about that and the risks and everything, and then what the prognosis was, for her recovery, or they thought not recovery. But again, they don't know my mom like I know her. And so we went back to sit down in the waiting room, and my brother was like beside himself. He wanted to go get something to eat. He just wanted to go eat. We could not satisfy him. So my brother, Casey, and my niece went to go grab snacks. And I'm thinking they're going to come back with like M&Ms or Skittles or something like that for me. And Casey, because she is a wise daughter, somehow she knew what was getting ready to happen. So did she bring me back candy? No. Did she bring me back a bag of chips, a little bag of chips that was going to lead to another bag of chips and another bag of chips and another bag of chips? No, she did not. She brought me back an individual sized bag of Skinny Pop popcorn. So that was 4 points worth of popcorn and a bottle of water. And I sat there and very happily ate 1 to 2 pieces at a time, that whole little bag of Skinny Pop. I was satisfied. The edge of hunger was gone. And I had the whole bottle of water. So she kept me hydrated. She kept me under control. She did not set off my trigger. I mean, even if she had gotten me an individual size bag of potato chips, that could have spelled disaster. I mean, I could have been off on a tangent that I could not come, like off on a side trip that I couldn't come back from. But she knew better, I guess, because she's been listening. She's been listening to me. But the potato chips hit the spot. Again, hunger was curbed, 4 points, bottle of water. I stayed hydrated. I felt great about it. So Casey's a smart girl. So if you're ever in a pinch, pick her for your, to go get your snacks for you. But again, planning, and she knew that I'd been planning. So she kind of had an idea, what I was planning for, for that day. And she helped me, stay on track. So my plan for the rest of the week, Saturday and Sunday, no meals at the hospital. None. Zero. I got back again about 6:15 this morning, waited until the doctor came in, and then I thought, I'm going to have breakfast with John today, but I'm just going to run down to Starbucks and get a little snack. I had not planned a snack at Starbucks. I had planned a coffee, but I had not planned in a snack. And when I got down there, fortunately, everything that they had, like in the little case, it's the hospital Starbucks, but everything that was in the little case was just not quite up to Starbucks quality. And because it didn't look great, I mean, it wasn't all glistening and pretty, and it didn't look fresh. It looked like they had just taken it out of the freezer and set it in the case, because it looked just a little bit off. I mean, I'm talking that far off, because it looked just a little bit off, and because I had already made a plan for today. I had apples in my bag. I had 2 clementines. I had, what else did I take today? I had a snack bar. Oh, I had 3 little tiny bags of pretzels that I had left over from Halloween that are 1-point bags of pretzels. And I had a little snack bag of something else that I had made in a Ziploc bag with me. And because I had all of that with me, and the Starbucks looked just a touch off, and I had a plan, guess what? When it was my turn, I walked up, and instead of saying, yeah, I'll take a slice of lemon loaf and a grande Pike's Peak, I just got my coffee. I got my coffee and thanked them, and I went right back upstairs. But, having a plan makes it easier to stay on a plan. So here's what I want you to do for your homework for this week. I want you to be done with Thanksgiving. You're done. Even if you had like 3 Thanksgivings, surely to goodness you are in your car right now headed back home. Surely to goodness, by the end of this week, you were headed back home. Black Friday's over. Cyber Monday, you're going to do it from your desk. So you're not going to be out eating on Cyber Monday. So I want you to be done. Be done with Thanksgiving. I don't want you to get your panties in a wad about Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever you're celebrating next, because it's another day, one day, even Hanukkah. Not really, but maybe you can turn it into that. And I want you to, look back on what you did for Thanksgiving. If you tracked, awesome. Awesome if you already tracked. If you didn't track for Thanksgiving, I want you to go back and put a number on that page. I don't care what the number is, and it doesn't really matter. I want you to put a number on that page. If you want to try and figure it out, again, awesome. If you don't, I just want you to make a number up. If you think you had 100 points that day, write down 100 points that day. But I want you to put a name on it. I want you to put a name on your Turkey Day points and write that down. Then I want you to decide, okay, so that happened. And if you didn't have a problem Thanksgiving Day, yay for you. But I want you to make a plan. So I want you to do exactly what it says in our weekly. I want you to assess, pick your next meal, and look at the big picture. But I want you to pre-plan it. So I want you to go ahead and think ahead all right, there's some more big meals coming up. You know, we've got that office party at work, or I'm having Christmas at my house and it's going to be out of control, or I've got that big Super Bowl party coming up. So I want you to think, what's your next big opportunity, you know, for a crazy meal? And I want you to go ahead and think about what's going to happen, you know, kind of pre-plan for it. But to think about, if you do overeat, what is your plan going to be? You know, so like assess what could happen, pick your next meal, go ahead and decide if, you know, if I overeat, then my next meal is going to be X, Y, and Z. Whatever your next meal is going to be, so that you've already got a plan for it. And then I want you to look at the big picture. It was one day. So I'm going to give you an example of this, and then I'm going to let you go because somehow I've already managed to talk 30